Can you hear the lady talking? She's always out there. She's always talking about, I don't know what she's talking about. What is ghosts? That was something she said, and then it went on from there. Hi, it's Paul, your co-host from the Review. I want to welcome you to the very first episode of the Review Shelf Help. I and or Ben and or someone else and or just one person will be here talking to you about a pick of physical media, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, Criterion, Arrow Video, standard release, franchise package, limited edition, whatever it is, something that we have feelings about for whatever reason and think that you may want to consider or not consider adding to your shelf. Some people will take the liberty of adding a movie to your shelf that you're not so excited about. And some people would consider that a gift, but some people would clearly not. I'm going to now welcome you properly with the bookend that you will hear at the beginning of every one of the Shelf Help episodes. Hi, listener. Welcome to this edition of the Review Shelf Help, a corner of the Review-Niverse dedicated to assisting you in making your next physical media purchase the right one for you and for the people you care about. I'm Paul. I'm one of your regular, and unfortunately, I'm a little more irregular than I would like to be. Can somebody give me feedback about Metamucil, some sort of like fiber replacement or enhancement, and how that works? But again, one of your regular co-hosts here at the Review with me today is Sandcat.
There is enough.
Softly purring in my lap, which is nice. I don't have a guest today, so this would not be applicable. And today, from my shelf, I brought you the Kino Lorber 4K Ultra HD release of Kindergarten Cop. Why did I bring this? The movie is kind of special to me. I've known it for most of my life, if not the whole of my life. It depends on which Review-Niverse I'm existing in at whatever given time. And I'm a Schwarzenegger guy. This has come up on the podcast many, many times. Almost took over a summer from us, which was a little sketch, a little sus, huh? But we were able to, I don't want to say avoid, because what a joy that would have been. But we had a good time nonetheless, did we not, listener? Thanks again for joining us. But Kindergarten Cop is just something that's special to me, partly because it is a Schwarzenegger movie, and I can't fight that. Kindergarten Cop was released in 1990. It is, of course, 111 minutes for our first episode. Gotta do that. It is rated PG-13. This is kind of in the infancy, pun intended, of the PG-13 rating. We're pretty early on in this. I mean, the kids in this movie are about the age of PG-13, maybe, what, like 4, 5, 6 years old? Somewhere in that neighborhood. The director of this film is Ivan Reitman. This movie had a lot of writers. Murray Salem, Herschel Weingrod, Timothy Harris, and I'm sure a lot of people that we don't know that maybe touched this. This is something that is interesting that you may know, and if you don't, if you know, you may want to hit the little 30-second skip button here. People like Ivan Reitman had script doctors.
Only doctors.
Studios had script doctors and rewriters and punch-up people. Schwarzenegger had these people. And so the idea of this thing being created between who knows how many writers, and especially how cohesive it is, in my opinion, is pretty impressive. It stars the aforementioned Arnold Schwarzenegger, Penelope Ann Miller, Pamela Reed, Linda Hunt, and an actor that I really enjoy who plays the villainous Crisp in this movie. He also is in Black Hawk Down and all sorts of stuff. His name is Richard Tyson. Basically, this movie is about a guy from Austria who has now entered his 40s and lived most of a life. He'd been married and has a child and is basically like a grizzled, burnout cop with a 5 o'clock shadow and doesn't look like he bathes much and looks like he has dirty hair. Like, they dirty up Schwarzenegger pretty good here. Who becomes obsessed with busting this one specific guy for some drug money that he's hiding. And Schwarzenegger and his partner, the amazing Pamela Reed, not so tough without your car, are ya? End up in Astoria, Oregon. Great place to be, great place to go, great little jewel of the Pacific Northwest. I recommend you be like to beat out and you spend a 4th of July there, even if it's not super, super busy. It's great to go and have an adventure out there in Astoria, Oregon. It's not Oregon, by the way. It's Oregon. Stop with the Oregon bullshit. But ends up out there, ends up by a great little piece of writing, becoming a teacher to try to figure out if this drug guy that he's obsessed with, whose renegade ex-wife is maybe hiding millions of dollars of his drug money, and she's hiding out there in Astoria, which of the children he has fathered, has sired, because the criminal man has an obsession with this kid and wants to get this kid back real bad. And the movie does deal with some really adult, very interesting themes, like spousal abuse and gaslighting and child abuse, and has some stuff that it really juggles tonally that I think it does really well. I have owned this, I think, on every format maybe that has been available in my existence, depending on the Review-Niverse, but VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K. And I specifically sought this movie out in 4K from Kino Lorber. And Kino Lorber, if you're not familiar, if you are, hit the 30-second skip button. All of the cases for the 4K Ultra HD, they're black cases. It uses similar font on the spine with the title of the movie. It's black with white lettering, so it's white on black. And the KL Studio Classics stamp normally is on there, depending on which version of Kino Lorber. And Kino Lorber, I believe, is owned by a gentleman named Richard Lorber. And what this person does is acquire studio and sometimes not so much studio movies and gives them a restoration or re-release. And this one is quite good. It's got some commentaries on it from film historians Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Josh Nelson, as well as a separate one from Sam Dagan. And like the original theatrical trailer, in terms of audio, it's a really nice digital 5.1 restoration. The actual film restoration itself, or I should say digital restoration itself, is really nice. I don't know who supervised this. This is a thing about special movie releases or boutique distributor releases when the studio doesn't release it themselves. Someone normally supervises, maybe this is Richard Lorber in this case, wants to make sure that these movies look as good as they can possibly look, sound as good as they can possibly sound. A lot of these Kino Lorbers have flippable paper sleeves, flippable like jackets with alternate art on one side or the other. This is not the case with the Kindergarten Cop. It's just the classic like Schwarzenegger getting mauled by all these rowdy kids. And I have had a chance to rewatch it, and that restoration is absolutely gorgeous. I got this for Christmas from, some pals that I beat out, and that's always nice. Special Agent K and everybody gets together and says, Paul needs special teacher, excellent teacher man, discipline man. He's a discipline daddy. That's for certain, but special kindergarten cop. And it just looks great. You can see kind of the film grain or the noise that exists in the image, where not everything is exactly perfect. Not everything is color balanced at every single moment or what have you. Like there's a little bit of that, like this is a movie kind of a thing. I don't know another way to describe it other than that, but this is a movie, and there are going to be things about it in terms of the look and the feel and the sound that are going to be a little bit fantastical, almost no matter what you're watching, I think, in a lot of cases. And that definitely still exists and lives here. What we do now at the end here, before I read the final bookend, because we've gone over, the movie doesn't include a lot of little extras like shoved in there. There's no digital copy. There is a Blu-ray that's included in there, but there's not like a poster or trading cards or whatever, postcards that a lot of these types of things come with. With Kino Lorber, you normally, again, you get this really nice uniform look, the flippable look of the actual face of the case of the movie. And she's always out there. She's always, what is it, ghosts? What, is this new? Ghosts? But it's not like Arrow Video or Criterion or Vinegar Syndrome where it comes with a bunch of this stuff. It's like, here's the movie. We got great people to do the commentary and it looks great and enjoy. So that's what it is in this case. And I don't normally get as excited about all of those add-ins. I really just want in a lot of cases, the best possible presentation of the movie. And that's not to say I wouldn't love that every one of these boutique releases at least come with like a physical book or a little packet or a pamphlet, a brochure about some of the filmmaking stuff outside of the commentary. This doesn't have that. That's okay. I think I can mostly live without that. I rate this movie in combination with the release and the package and everything. I think it's a pretty generous rating. In the movie, I'd still rate a 4, having just watched it. But the release and the package and the everything, as a 4, there is something, let's say 4 ferrets. There is something about Kino Lorber again, and I'm an OCD person, but like all of the white on black font, the placement of the thing, like there's an austere kind of something about it that works in the minimalism that not all of these brands have. Like the uniformity is very nice, is it not? Do you not enjoy the uniformity? 4 out of 5 though. If you're a person that just likes this movie, it's a good comedy, it's got good commentaries on it, Blu-ray or 4K in the 4K pack. And I want to say this is pretty readily available. And in a lot of cases, you're going to be able to get it for less than $20. What do you have to lose? It's a classic. Thanks for joining me for the first episode of Shelf Help. This episode of the Review Shelf Help is brought to you by the Review podcast. Our bookend themes are by Jamie Henwood. You can follow the Review on Insta, Flashes, and Blue Sky at ReviewX2 Podcast. If you want, you can follow me on Letterboxd at Paul Acts Badly. Add a lot of ratings and reviews and thoughts and musings and links and things there. It's fun for me anyway. So even if you don't like it, whatever. Me, myself, and I are having fun. If you can please one person, and I'm very good at that by myself. I'm just saying the Review is available almost everywhere, including Buzzsprout and Good Pods. Vroom vroom. Oh no, it's the addendum or addition, epilogue, whatever this is, to the Reviews very first edition, very first episode of Shelf Help in the expanding Review-Niverse. Yes, it's Paul. I'm back to let you know that as much as we really hope that you enjoyed this episode for the 4K Ultra HD Kino Lorber release of Kindergarten Cop and my personal little mini review, these episodes moving forward will be available on our subscription page, a subscription version of the Review that will not only include the Review Shelf Help that you just listened to and more of those, yay, hooray, isn't that fun, but also some of our birthday episodes and our listener poll episodes and other special episodes of that nature, new movies that have just come out. We just did one of these, by the way, for a movie called Reedland from the Netherlands. That is a movie that should just be kind of coming to streaming at least around this point, if it hasn't already. We hope you enjoyed this episode and that you'll join us on our subscription page with even more help for your shelf. The Review Shelf Help. Vroom vroom.
Dishes are done, man. Cleans them down to the shop.